as intelligent as we are, a problem is lingering for over 13 years and we have not been able to resolve it. The issue of liquidity, those who invested in power sector have continually said we are not getting a commensurate return for our investments in the sector. And you cannot blame them because they didn't come as Santa Claus. They came as investors. Even if they did, the conventional wisdom is that even in Freetown, nothing is free. Somebody has to pay for it.
The director is saying that they should blame their staff.
Yes, they should blame their staff, but it's a country risk or a systemic thing. Their staff have not come from Ghana, they have not come from Syria, they are Nigerians. So, apart from that, you cannot also exonerate the top echelon of the owners of these businesses. People will say that maybe because I had worked in the old NEPA, that's what I'm going to say. That's why I'm saying what I'm going to say now. But I believe strongly that if we had allowed the old system to continue but modify it, after all, NNPC is as old as the power sector. What am I trying to say? Look at all that has happened and bring in all of the regulations. If you want to bring in people, like he has continually argued, bring in the right people and let them run it. If they do anything wrong, deal with them according to the rules and regulations guiding their employment. There is a former REA head that went to jail in this country, true or false? He went to jail in this country. And I know that REA has always been a focal point in terms of what is happening here and there. So for me, unless we solve the liquidity challenge, gas people will not give you their gas. And once gas does not come to generating stations, there is no way they can fire their plants. If they are not firing their plants, you are not moving anywhere. Somebody has said to my hearing that in transmission today, you have more equipment than managerial skill. I have always thrown this challenge. Let them put 5,000 megawatts in the transmission network. If they can, let them dare do it.
Bode Fadipe, I want to ask this question. I'd like you to be sincere in your answer.
Yes.
Do you think that there are a group of people benefiting from darkness in Nigeria?
Oh, definitely. That is as clear as daylight. Even
why is darkness and clear as daylight?
Yes. Why is vandalism thriving? Is it that because people just want to make a point, or they are benefiting from the removal of the tower members and the conductors? I saw a video this morning or yesterday where some people were arrested in a place, I think Southwest, and they went to go and vandalize towers.
And they died.
So how can we deal with that issue? This cartel, or if you like, those who are in the business of keeping Nigeria in darkness.
Which is what I said, which is why I said part of our problem is impunity. It's not those small boys that you see going to do it that are the real people. Let's look for those who are behind them and bring them to the public. See, I can say it confidently. The power sector is not likely to change in the next 20 years. Because power sector is a reflection of the Nigerian environment. The ills of the power sector is only is a reflection of what is happening. Unless we do a mind shift, we move away from this idea that we can do anything, impunity. I keep referring to that policeman thing. You had all the time in the world to cool down and not shoot that man. But he must have felt that if I shoot him, what will happen to me?
Because it has happened before.
Because it has happened before. It's just that one even came up on the social media and
okay, let me pause you.
There's so many implications of what you have said, Fadipe.
Yes.
You saying that the power sector is not likely to change in the next 20 years. Let's not forget that that's a campaign promise of our president, that there will be power in Nigeria. So now, are you saying...
Let me interrupt you. I have a concern for what the president... I'm not going to go into the veracity of what he has said, but I have a concern with the way the president has treated the power sector. And what's my concern? See, we have always known that power supplies are a problem in this country. You brought in somebody who has governorship ambition, and there is a timetable. From the onset. And then, so we have wasted 2.5 years. You are now bringing Babalola. Look at the calculation that he made. What will Babalola do between now and next year? Now, in the worst case scenario, Mr. President does not come back. Somebody else comes back. There will be a cabinet reshuffle. Babalola may survive. He may not survive. Let's also take it that the president goes to the polls and he wins. Fine and good. I have no issue with that.
Babalola continues.
Babalola, if there is a cabinet reshuffle, what is the guarantee that Babalola will continue?
Okay, let me pause you there. We have
between now and when that time will come, what can Babalola do?
Okay.
And the current minister.
We'll wait to see that. I believe in time he'll be able to come to our studio himself to talk about the power sector. I believe he'll be able to come. So we have some contributions from Nigerians that they've sent, so many after. They say, good morning. It's an embarrassing situation that for more than 4 decades, Nigeria, with all the oil resources, cannot get it right as it concerns electricity. It has put our industrial and manufacturing sectors in a limbo situation. Very shameful for a nation. That's from Okoroma Godwin Chuks from Erema in River State. And this one said, I'm here to submit to you to help us find what is happening, because the new meter installed in our houses have become serious problems. Because we have to pay the sum of 15,000 naira to a different person's account before you recharge your meter. This is happening in Jos Axis right now. And Alhaji Garko from Karo site in Abuja said, good morning, Nigeria. I think a serious sanction on violating customers in Nigeria can improve the power sector. That's from Alhaji Garko. And Olushola Olubadan from Ibadan said, we're made to know that there are cabals who don't want the power sector to succeed due to their selfish interests and fear of collapse of their businesses through generator plants and solar power systems and other alternatives. Please, can you justify this belief? And this one said, good morning, Nigerians. The problem with our power sector is international businessmen and women who import generators. They will never allow electricity to be fixed because their businesses will collapse. And this one said, I'm watching this early morning. I had a leader complaining about the Nigerian system today. It is fair enough to say things are not like the past years. This question goes to everyone. Over 60 years now, when has Nigerian power system has ever been good? That's what he said. And why are communities paying for transformer? Last but not the least, he said, please, that assertion that electricity reform has worked is wrong. Completely a situation where customers pay for meter, cables, etc. when there is a fault. Customers will be billed for supply of the same. That's coming from IK from Port Harcourt. Nobody here said, none of the guests said here that the reforms are working. Actually, let me correct you there. And the other one said, all the contributions were okay. Tampering of meter will continue. But if the government give reasonable and avoidable tariff, then use tax force for those who tamper the meter. Thank you, Yemi John. Joss.
All right, I'll quickly run through the messages I have so that, our guests can quickly respond to them holistically. This one says, good morning, Nigeria. Many thanks, NTA, for today's discussion. The challenges in the power sector stem from its reform procedure and processes emanating from the area of policy formulation and its implementation. The sector must be thoroughly unbundled, exploring the GSM telecom sector reform template as a guide. We should stop corruption and playing politics all the time. May God bless Nigeria. That's from Busari in Lagos. Kayode Busari, thank you. Another one says, good morning, Nigeria, and good morning to the guest in the studio. I have a question which I believe the guest in the studio will be able to give answers to. What has happened to the Siemens 1 gig megawatts electricity contract? And that's from TA Animation, all the way from Johannesburg. Thank you so much. I hope you're safe in Johannesburg. Thank you for your message. Another one says, good morning, ladies. Speaking about power sector is good, but the way it is generated is a bad idea. That's from Bill in Ikare, Ekiti. Another one says, good morning. The problem with the power sector is the fact that most of the investors came with the mindset of making money, like people in the telecommunications business. Regards. That's from Demola Adeboyega. Another one says, the solution to our power sector is for the state governments to invest in electricity and manage it. They have the money. This one says, good morning, Nigeria. It has already left behind it has already left behind strong issues. Why so? Last power generation plant of Egmin was built in the early 90s. There was no additional transmission or distribution line network expansion, and this is kind of twisted. Ibrahim Adeja, you're talking about all the issues that we face, and thank you so much for your message. Another one says, imagine we had issues with the transformers and there's no light for weeks or months, and you call the attention of NEPA official, I mean, that was a long time ago, to come and fix the issue. And they will ask you to bring money to buy materials to be used in fixing the issue. That's from Ifeanyi from Festac in Lagos. All right, engineer, I'd like you to respond to all of this and speak to us. What's the way forward? We want a solution. What needs to happen? Want to see is power. I mean, if we have, say, 12, 18 hours, we're not even asking for 24. That would be a step, I mean, in the right direction. It will transform the country. So, what's the way forward, in your own opinion?
Please, let me just correct something. Fadipe, you are saying Babalola minister. Babalola is going to be the chairman of the task force.
Yes.
He's going to be chairman of task force, which used to be there. And that task force is one of the recommendations in my research.
In your research, okay.
Yes. And it's good that you put someone that will advise the president, because he has the ears of the president quickly, and issues can be resolved. For the questions, most of them are talking about investment. People, I have talked about it, that people are cowed into, they have to submit and pay money for those things. I went to a disco because I run 2 houses. I have a house in Kano. Then I went to a disco and I complained. I complained through the chief technical officer, who is an engineer, when I was president of NSC. And they said they are coming to solve the problem. Up to today.
How many years now?
4 years. It has not been resolved. That tells you, even let the distribution companies now, just someone said there should be a sanction on customer rights. If the low-hanging fruit for any disco now is to ensure that there is good courtesy with customers, handle customers, let them feel happy that you listen to them.
Yes, because the way they talk to people at times.
Even if you don't do that, the way you even talk to them is very low-hanging fruit for any disco. But now, the discos are more authoritative than NEPA. I'm telling you, they are more authoritative. In fact, they even have, we used to call them NEPA 2. They now have some people who work for them that are not their staff. And they are not on contract. They rely on that tip. And they negotiate it.
Then what do the staff do? If they have to bring in outside people?
Them, let me tell you, most of them, they don't even have staff now.
Yes. So the little they have are overwhelmed.
They don't have staff. So that's the situation we are. So the best thing is 40% of the shares of the discos belong to government. That's one thing Nigerians should know. It is not solely owned by the investors.
Discos, okay.
40% belongs to government. And government has failed in its own right to go and invest. You have 40% share. So if there is going to be investment, you don't only look at somebody with 60% and let him bring in money for investment. You also bring your own share of the money to invest, so that you keep that value of that share. Otherwise, the value of your share starts going down, because they are investing. 60% they are investing their money. At the same time, on the board, you see, there is no corporate culture in the power sector. TCN, I don't remember how many times we have boards of TCN. Boards, corporate boards of TCN. It's always the minister who stands in on behalf of the board.
Why are there no boards?
That's the political will.
That's the political will. Okay, thank you. Let me pause you there. Let's bring in Malam Idris into the conversation. What needs to happen now? Let's look at solutions in 2 minutes. Some people are saying that decentralized power, state and mini-grid solution, improved governance, of discourse, and stronger enforcement by NEC, and massive investment in transmission infrastructure. So, add to it as you respond.
Let me just add or correct the impression of Engineer Odil regarding the government's 40% stake in the generation companies and the distribution companies. From accounting point of view, which is my area of authority, the federal government, the huge sums that the federal government has been investing in the sector, the distribution, even though it is privatized, and the generation companies, even though it is privatized, partially privatized, is enough to cover more than the 40% stake that the government has in these distribution companies.
So what's the problem then?
Now, like I said, fundamentally, you need to put a technically competent, versatile, all right, management staff that will ensure that putting the right officers in the right places is necessary. He has talked about having an issue in Kano that has taken him 4 years, and he has reported to a chief technical officer, the CTO. Do you know who the chief technical officer is? The selection of that chief technical officer is faulty because he is the son of a shareholder who owns the company. He probably would be certainly somebody who is having a close relationship with a shareholder of the company, and therefore he has to be given a very sensitive position, and he has no idea, he has no experience, he has no competence to manage the business. Talk about the customer services. In NEPA, we are all NEPA here. In NEPA before, we used to have fault office. In that office, that fault office, 24 hours, any day, any time you go, there is always somebody that you will meet that will not sleep, with a radio, with a fault van, that will attend to you. They scrapped all of those. They scrapped faults.
So you want NEPA back? Is that the way forward?
Absolutely. What we are saying is that give NEPA, if you give NEPA a quarter of the funds that you have given the so-called privatized companies, Nigeria would have had stable.
Okay, let me pause. Mr. Fadipe, okay, Mr. Fadipe, in 1 minute, because we just have 1 minute. Let's round up solutions.
I think we should call all stakeholders and let's ask, do we want a power sector or not? We need to sign an agreement and say anybody that deviates, he will be sanctioned. 1, 2, I want to take that word gestation period. We need that gestation period. My argument of late has always been that since Obasanjo, with due respect to him, is a father of the nation, included the Land Use Act in 1978 in the Constitution, nobody has changed an alphabet in the Land Use Act till we speak. I mean, as till date. Can we have a power sector program that will be consistent? Government is a continuum. Administrations will come and go. But let us have a situation where when A finishes, B continues from where A stopped.
And C picks up from C.
That is the only.
Thank you. On that note, I know we are going to come back to this conversation in the future. We're going to talk about the reforms and the resetting of the power sector. Maybe the minister will be able to be in the studio so that we can talk more about that. Yes. Bode Fadipe, CEO, Sage Consulting and Communications, you're here in Abuja studio. Has always been a pleasure having your opinion.
Thank you so much. My greatest pleasure.
Yes, and Idris Mohammed, former power infrastructure expert and former MD CEO, Kaduna Electric. Thank you so much. We were supposed to join you in Kaduna, but it's lovely that you're here. Thank you so much. And Yatasiu Saad Kidari with Deal MNI, former president, Nigeria Society of Engineers. Thank you so much for bringing your perception and knowledge and your research into this conversation.
Thank you.
Deeply appreciate.
I think we should round off by asking one question. Can prayers solve the issues in the power sector?
And who?
Prayers.
Prayers can do anything, but
They can even move mountains. Okay, thank you, gentlemen. That's how it's been on Good Morning Nigeria.
I'm Henry John.
That's Good Morning Nigeria for today. I'm Jumbo Yusuf. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, I'm Henry John. Live locked on the NTA.